I'm Christian.
And I'm Vera.
And in this episode, we're gonna change the timing belt and the oil pump on the TDV6 diesel engine, which is on the Land Rover's difficulty scale on an 8 and on the Toyota scale on a 14.
I would have thought on a 20. Hope you enjoy the video.
The TDV6 has two timing belts, one for the camshaft and one for the high pressure fuel pump. You don't necessarily need to change them all at once. In this episode, we're gonna change the timing belt in the front only. There are plenty of videos out there, but we're gonna show it to you in LR Times style.
Oh my God.
It's fairly cold today, of course, because we want to work on the car and we're not in Australia. So the first thing we're gonna do is a cold start on the vehicle and get everything recorded, how it starts before the repair. And the most important thing is the oil pressure. Yeah, and it jumped after 2 or 3 seconds, it jumped to 3. Okay, and we see how that changes with the new oil pump. Exactly 0 degrees today. Look at this beautiful ice pattern on here. I'm gonna take a bunch of covers off so everything goes quicker when the car is later on hot to get the oil out.
Oh man.
No, not oh man.
We got a new problem.
No, we don't.
We got a major oil leak on your transfer case or on your gearbox. I can't say what it is.
And then we got a pretty bad oil leak here in the front. That is somewhere in the area of the oil pump. I hope we're gonna find that one today. The under shield is not really that wet.
So I'm all set up. My tools over here, most importantly the heater, and here my laptop. So it's gonna be a 2-day job for sure. Snow.
Such nice weather, would make more sense to cut wood today. So I got the car up for temperature, and what I check now also is my oil pressure here.
It's about 1.8 bar.
Yes.
And we'll see how that will change when after we install the new oil pump.
At about 2000 RPM, under operating temperature. Do not yell at your wife.
Under any circumstances.
Yeah, because if you do, you will finish that job alone.
And I'll take the wall crawler out. Taking out the van with our special tool.
Yeah. So if you got anti-seize on this, taking out the fan is a piece of cake. If you don't have anti-seize on it, this can ruin already the first part of your day. But
And it's only 8:30. Can take off the battery.
So how to do that?
oops.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so plastic pieces. If you want to know how this looks now in a British mode, look, you take this out. It's almost the same in British mode. When you got it out, you can go back to the regular mode. So,
And then he yells at me that those pieces are lying in the middle of the room.
yeah. And what you want to check here when you have this part off is if you got a collision with the plastic around here and this corner here. On some vehicles, this is rubbing, which will in long term cause your coolant outlet of the engine to break off. Here, we gotta take that out.
We need more boxes. And now finally we are moving.
So,
Where?
there's the pipe. Holy shit.
What?
Forgot that I blocked your EGR and I never took it out. So
Oh
you're
my
driving
God.
which is completely illegal in Germany. I forgot that I did this. The other side wasn't blocked.
Yes, because the other side I have in my spare parts bag in case we have a problem.
Yeah, it's all your fault that this planet is warming up. Look how much crude is in there. Look.
That's disgusting.
Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna clean that.
Open the oil filter a few turns so it releases the drain hole.
So I hope everyone watching our videos has done an oil change by now.
You do want to have this open. Learned this twice the hard way.
So I'm still filming, I don't know why.
Other people make a full video about this. If you go and cook coffee now in addition, you got the normal standard program.
Yeah, on YouTube.
See it's draining? Vera didn't believe me.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
he's still talking and not doing
Make sure
anything.
that lens is still clean.
Yeah, moving on.
Moving on. There we go.
So Christian got the heater burning. It's just too cold.
But you missed the entire spill I did.
Yes.
Okay. I would say that's good enough.
I have to heat up for a moment.
Got it? Good. I should have remembered the direction of rotation and I didn't.
Well, how can you mess that up?
Okay, how was it in there? I don't remember.
Oh, yes.
Protecting my radiator here with a piece of plastic. And now we gotta take stuff up. I actually got a new idler pulley here. Listen. This is the noise you hear in the morning.
Yeah.
Yes, like the water pump. I also bought you a new tensioner pulley down there, I think.
Yes, but you didn't buy me a new serpentine belt. Oh, it's all warm. Tie wraps are your best friend.
You open up the chamber of some old pyramid for the first time after 5,000 years. So here, let's check out our pharaoh's grave.
Oh, it looks all dry.
No, it doesn't look dry. Look at this. See that this is the highest spot where the oil is coming from? See that? See that this side is dry? That's important that you investigate this right at the first moment. So the oil leak is on this side. It's not the oil pump leaking.
So we have
For
to
sure.
take those wheels off?
Yes, we have to take that pulley wheel off. And we most likely have to replace that seal underneath.
Well, can we replace that seal and do you have it?
Yes, of course I have it.
Oh, no, wait, Christian, I'm not done.
You're not done.
Oh, what is that? Yuck. Is that oil or?
That's oil
From
and
the oil
dirt
spill.
mixture. And we can look at this for another half hour and it
There's
will not
something
change.
green.
Yes, that is a little
Oh,
oil
I
seal, a
remember
dust
that.
seal. This is the head gasket.
Look at those. You know,
3-point.
I'm just so amazed because we did an engine
Yeah, and the
repair
video
and
is gonna be 40 minutes again.
look, there's rust.
No, there is no rust. That's an engine block.
That's the water pump.
Yes, water pump is new. Remember?
No, those pulley wheels.
We have that new. Make sure these pulley wheels are lining up with the holes behind them. Yep, you see it right there. Good. I would say it's in now. So now I got the camshafts locked in place. I can take the belt tensioner out. Yep, there was some Loctite on. Now remember, our crankshaft is not locked in place. We're gonna have to take care of that. At one point, we're gonna have to get the lock pin into the flywheel. Some people just mark the crankshaft pulley here on the housing. That's possible too, but not if you want to remove it to get the oil pump out. Now these timing belts, they always look new when you take them out, okay? They never look worn. But this one is in there now since 120,000 kilometers and 160,000 is the interval. We need to take this off completely because I suspect the oil leak behind it. I'm using here the same tool what I use to take the coolant fan out. I bolt this on here. Now I have here some freedom and clearance and I can feel where it needs to stay. Piece of cake, see? And I keep it nicely loose. And when I take the pulley wheel off, it will move a little bit. This is a 10.9 bolt which was stretched. It can be used up to 3 times. And what I will do now is I will center punch here, which means I took it out 1 time already. There it is. And now we're gonna see if this is our oil leak. There we go. little bit of grease on here. No grease on the outside. The outside is dry. Put it on. There we go. Install it 1 millimeter under flush. So, center punched it. Newton meters. Yeah, is that 90 degree?
Yeah, now a little bit less.
A little bit less, okay.
So you gotta go more.
Put my pin back in. So, a little bit, see, there it is. And this seal is not 100% dry, I would think.
Wait.
See the oil in this corner?
No, not really.
There, of course you do. Right there.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my god.
That's where Fabian's was leaking.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
But it looked on his completely different. It was clearly leaking here, and he didn't have any oil in this crevasse.
Yeah.
He had the oil in this crevasse.
Yeah. See the glow plug?
You're producing too much footage.
So now he's using the tool I told him to use.
See, now I got a hole in there.
Yeah, it
When
was
you were
lubricated because
Yeah.
it was a leak.
No, there it is. See, got it out.
That was so boring.
No, you're asking me all kinds of questions while I'm working. Not getting any grease on the outside.
You did it now the Outback Discovery way.
Okay, the Outback Discovery way is of course way quicker. Done. Yeah.
Are you sure it has
Yes,
the right side? So
it's
check
done.
it with your...
Here it's 1.2.
It's not even. So you gotta do it again.
No, there is no doing again on this. But it looks good.
Tell if
Outback
it looks good.
Discovery pushed it in by hand and his engine is working.
We're gonna do that on mine too.
And you stop me?
Yeah. Stop.
So we gotta leave these loose.
I actually have to look up what tenacity means.
Yeah, these are NTN bearing pulley wheels, what I bought last time. They are unbelievable good quality. There's no way that this car will wear these out.
Got the new oil pump. Yeah, so we had to take out the alternator, but we had to do that off camera because I dropped it.
Okay, the alternator was really easy to take out. It's 3 bolts and it comes right out. They're all pretty decent accessible. So on a scale from 1 to 10 on the Toyota scale, it was an 11. But on a 1 to 10 on a Land Rover scale, it was on a 3. In order to get the alternator mounting bracket out, you got to take this little heat shield out here. There you go. And there you can see how much oil you really lost, you know, just out of that little leak.
Oh
The
my
oil
God.
is all over the place. Yeah.
So I caused the next marriage crisis, but
Oh,
he did
man.
not give me correct instructions.
Yes, I did.
No, you did not.
I told you you have the spare part for the alternator. And then she doesn't know what it looks like, and then she claims, no, I don't.
Yeah, but I know what the alternator brush is, and he didn't say that.
And I thought, while we have the alternator out, we can inspect this brush to see what it looks like in here, how worn it is. I take this out, and here
Oh my God, is that dirty?
we compare it with this one.
Oh, it still looks good.
It still looks good, I would agree. So we keep the original installed.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just take that dust out with the air gun. The contact conditions, and they perfect.
This 240,000 kilometers of wear. Still putting that one back in because it's OEM.
We're using a paper clip. We hope this works. And there we go. And now I can pull this out. Did you get it?
Yeah. That and that has to go together. Yeah.
So alternator inspection is done. This is a one-way clutch. So I gotta check that the one-way clutch is rotating freely. In this way it rotates,
Yeah.
and in this way it
Ah.
takes it. That's called a one-way clutch. Same thing I use in my Barbie car. And then of course we check the bearings, and they are perfect. This is a Denso alternator. Those are the best ones on the planet. There you go. So this is just to remove for clearance. This is my tool to remove the front pulley wheel from the crankshaft. instead of blocking the crankshaft through the flywheel access hole. So I bolt this on down here. It fits perfectly, self-made.
And it's not for sale.
And that worked.
See, here's the tool.
Okay, this bolt needs to be renewed, so you have to purchase that ahead of time. There's a washer in here, okay?
What?
This washer is pressed in.
Yeah.
Don't lose that washer. In some applications it comes loose. I had one subscriber writing me an email about this.
What am I doing with that screw now?
Take that idler pulley off for access. 2 of the oil pump bolts are accessible from down here. So we take those 2 out.
What is that?
A seal.
That is like the weirdest part ever. So he's cleaning off.
The surroundings.
Yeah.
After 120,000 kilometers, and you already got a big size pump. I see that. Oh shit. This is definitely a big rotor pump.
Yeah, because it's an aftermarket pump.
Yeah, I gotta clean out this sealant here from last time. Zero it. And then I measure down to the rotor. So that is a 15 millimeter rotor. And it's also a 15 millimeter rotor. This one was never off.
Oh, that is looking so good. Oh, thank God.
There's the oil pickup too. Yeah, so everything is really good. The surface looks clean.
Oh, what is that?
Yeah, your diesel filter.
Maybe you should get a new
there's
one.
water inside. It comes out when I open it now. Watch it.
Oh no. Ah, there's water
No,
inside.
it's diesel.
Oh, it's diesel.
It's diesel, so it's all good. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, the hardest part on this job actually is, as always, to take the starter motor out. That one is tricky. Cleaning the bolts.
Yeah. Most important.
I have to put a bead of sealant into the corner here. Yeah. There. And right over here, a bead of sealant into the corner. That's it. And I can put a light bead here onto the old gasket, but not overdoing it. Very well. I got this installation sleeve.
Wait a second.
And I got this installed so the flats are sideways using the narrow pieces here. That's important. The plastic piece will at one point come out if everything goes well. These starts to come out, yeah? Which means my pump is in place and I can tap it in now. Seal is in, this piece can come up. We get a few of these to seat lightly, then I go down and install the ones from the bottom up.
Yeah.
To make sure the pump is pulled down correctly. So got them nicely seated, but not tightened. And I got the lower ones also seated, maybe with like 2 or 3 Newton meter. And now I tighten these here
Wait
with
a second,
10.
I don't see you. Ah.
Click, click.
10. Perfect.
And now I go down there.
Also 10 Newton meters.
Done. So the FIA pump comes with a PTFE oil seal and an installation sleeve. The seal will be installed absolutely dry, and I got me a tool machine which puts the seal 1 millimeter under flush into the oil pump housing. The installation tool is sort of like a funnel, what you set on top of the crankshaft. After that, the seal needs to sit 4 hours before it comes into contact with any oil. We also let our sealant cure overnight. The crankshaft is absolutely clean. There we go. It's over the crankshaft. I seat it in the oil pump housing and I put the seal in 1 millimeter under flush. Yeah, that's it. I got this tool made up so I can hold the pulley wheel up front. There are two different sizes from Land Rover. The bolt gets installed dry. Part number for the 14mm LR002458. Stage 1 of the crankshaft pulley is 100 Newton meters. And I got the crankshaft roughly in position, okay? Stage 2 of the crankshaft pulley is a further 90 degree with a minimum torque of 250 Newton meters. That's 45. One more time, full power. So I have the 250 Newton meter minimum torque. If you go 90 degrees, it's more like 400, but for whom? And we got about 60 degrees of angle tightening instead of 90. 85 Newton meter. Newton meter. I need this in position so I can install my crankshaft timing pin.
Okay.
I do that from below. So here's my crankshaft timing pin hole. Here you can see it in the mirror. I'm gonna adjust this correctly using this ratchet now here.
Oh my god.
I'm inserting this pin.
Holy cow.
It locks now into this groove.
When the engine was off on Fabian's car, that all was easier.
I put a starter motor bolt through it.
Well, I don't see anything.
Yeah, I show it to you here. See, there it is now. Crankshaft is locked in the correct position. Here's my favorite trick from Broken Piston Garage. I need to make sure this timing belt does now not slip off this pulley wheel. So I put a tiny socket, which is a 5.5, underneath it. I just don't want to forget this later on. But I squeeze that tiny socket in between the pulley wheel and the timing belt. So I gotta rotate the pulley wheels from the crankshafts clockwise. And the idea is that this pulley wheel has some room to go when the tensioner snaps in. So this one here as well, I put that clockwise and put the timing belt on because this tensioner is gonna pull it here. And then it needs to go this way. Here is a new tensioner.
So that didn't work out.
So do not buy the Gates tensioner. The reason is very simple. The original tensioner has a huge Allen wrench here. And the Gates one has a little 6mm. And it's stripped before I could reach the proper tensioning torque here. Because of the construction, you can't even put the Allen wrench in deep enough. So this is really a stupid design. I'm not worried putting in the old one because this is a China bearing. And on my original one, it's an NSK bearing out of Japan. So I bet that Japanese bearing will outlast this one anyway. It has no sign of wear. The bearing feels good. I put my bolt back in my Loctite and use my huge Allen wrench and done. And 26 Newton meter. So now I tighten my pulley wheels in place. And I want to make sure my pin keeps loose, so I have to do this with a lot of care. See here, my pin is loose and I can take it out. See, my pin is loose. And this one is the loose.
So now we have to rotate the crank 2 revolutions, and he put a mark here so he knows where he started and where he has to end up again.
I line up my mark perfectly. This one fits perfect. This one as well.
Okay, so I can put them away. So, until the mall crawler needs you. Those 2 green seals, they look like pieces of carpet.
And this one goes in here.
Okay. So now we're gonna put the starter motor back in. There are only a few screws, but they are tough.
I almost forgot to take out that socket. Using Vera's toothbrush.
So now the alternator goes back in.
Piece of cake. 46. You may know us from such videos as how to use NASA red paint. This is now the second component, which is clearly marked wrong. It don't fit, so we're gonna have to do all this over again.
This one looks like it's gonna fit. So you better clean up that so we don't get a scare next time we open it and think there's an oil leak here.
So using brake cleaner with an open flame is a good idea.
Now I got a beefy bottle. So now comes the timing belt cover. So we have to torque 16 screws to 10 Newton meters.
Get it there.
At least one out of three. We torque it to 46 Newton meters. Now comes the crankshaft pulley wheel. So we torque them with 25 Newton meter. Water pump pulley wheel, and it fits. Torque to 25 Newton meter.
I got this precisely adjusted to 25.5 Newton meter.
Cooling fan pulley wheel.
Oh, slipped again.
What are you doing?
So after 15 years I found out that you can latch them in open position here. You see that? There's a little latch. And when you now push on them, they jump close. Closed?
Closed?
Yeah.
Good.
I usually put them back where they were before. Got these new. Yeah.
Yep. Second one also.
Part number of these is 1316152, and the big O-ring here in the front is LR008353. And this is all cleaned also on the inside. Yeah, I got silicone grease on it, so it goes in really easy. Now it's nicely seated. So, got your nicely used belt back on.
Yeah, he didn't get me a new one. So you have to have tie wraps in all sizes. Putting in the EGR pipes.
Click, click. Click, click.
Don't forget to put copper grease on your
Cooling fan hub.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You got
Oh,
clearance.
the collision.
If you got clearance between these two parts, see my finger fits in between?
That actually looks fun.
I
Oh
think
my
it's
god.
a good idea to take that out. Gotta make sure this pipe doesn't slip down on you.
Yep, the lower part.
Good. Taking this oil filter out using this little spike here. Very simple. There. And I want to show you now a trick which we are going to use to prime our oil pump. And for that we need this piece here for priming the oil pump. So we're just gonna cut this out of this filter, and while we add it, we'll check Vera's filter for shiny debris. Oh look, there is actually one here. No, in average it looks clean. I just ripped this out, this piece, out of the old filter. You can only get from LR time. Okay, here's the trick how to prime the oil pump. We install the oil pump all dry. This way we can glue it in, and then we prime it. And I plug this plug in the oil filter housing in here to close this drain hole here, using this plug what we just made up. Yeah? And then I pour oil in this chamber here, and then I take my fingernail, no tool, my fingernail, and I lift this check valve. Can you see this? I just take my fingernail and lift this check valve like this. And then I wait till the oil drains through that check valve down into the oil cooler. It fills it all back up, and then it drains down into the oil pump. There it's coming.
There it is.
Okay, so this hack works. So I may have to take like a piece of plastic, maybe a tie wrap, and pry this check valve open. But it's definitely running down to the pump.
Yep.
That's how we're gonna prime the pump. I'm gonna rotate the engine counterclockwise. So against its sense of rotation. And I'm trying to wind now the oil into the pump. And if that method works, there should be oil coming out of the pickup tube at one point. And there it is. Isn't that fantastic? And I'm rinsing all that oil on my floor right now. Isn't that good? Is I took this tie wrap and put it below this little check valve. You can even see it through the oil. And now look, I pull it out. Plop, and then the check valve closes. After 16 years, we'll give it a new gasket.
Oh my god. Well, I got the sticker. I put the date, kilometer, and who did it.
Very nice.
So you have seen us do that many times. It's actually the first time we use a Male on our car.
Remove my drain plug, which is this piece, yeah? With this little piece down. By the way, I also poured oil into the inner oil gallery while I was filling this. Seeded and a little bit.
Yeah. So that's 5 liters.
5.6.
So I missed that part.
Yeah, I still need to put a lot more in. So pulling the fuel pump relay, and now we're gonna purge the air.
Oh yeah, it's coming. And there's air coming.
Yeah, there's lots of air.
No, there's still air coming.
Air coming.
Yeah. So he's gonna start the car now. Is normal when there was no oil, you know, and it stopped immediately after the oil pressure was there. Fill up the coolant. Oh, without funnel, major coolant spill.
We're gonna have to watch our coolant level, and now I'm gonna check for leaks underneath. Yeah, see how my belt tensioner is bouncing here, and you feel that vibration in the car. So I'm gonna have to get a complete new tensioner and a new serpentine belt. Looks good. So we can go on a test drive. Check the oil one more time.
He refuses to wire the winch back on and the air compressor.
Not today.
Not today.
So we changed the oil pump. We did find an oil leak on the upper camshaft seal, so we replaced both of those front seals.
So we didn't find any debris in our oil sump. That was good. And there were enough oh my gods for at least 3 or 4 videos.
You may not have to follow my complicated priming procedure, but the reason I did it this way is if you prime the pump by pouring oil in, during mounting the pump, you will spill that oil on your fresh sealant and it may not seal correctly. This is why, using my procedure, you can mount the pump completely dry to the vehicle and then prime it while it is installed, and you are absolutely sure the gearing of the pump is primed. So here's the oil pressure at 2000 RPM, comparing old and new. 2000 now. 2000 RPM. Temperature is warm.
We had one major fail, which may be coming up in another video.
So that's it for this video. It was a little long one and a little detailed. I hope it's useful for you. Make sure you got all the parts ready. when you start this job. And if you like this video, check out our other videos. Give this one a thumbs up. This is really important to us. We thank our subscribers and our Patreons very much for the support.
And hopefully we'll see you next Sunday.